It's Jim from 89.9 Light FM, and I'm here with Joby Matthews, one of my fellow BD operatives, if you like, business development executives. And in the illustration you may be about to see, I used Joby as an example in part of it, and I just wanted to introduce you perhaps a little bit to Joby. When Joby started with us, he had a digital marketing background, and that digital marketing background was something that I was really fearful at one stage that he might go back to when he hit that rough patch of when he started out, when he had enough clients, and then how to sort of press through that, how to go onwards and upwards, or to just check out. And that's really what I thought. So yeah, Jamie, with your digital marketing background, when you first started with us, there was perhaps a temptation to go back to that rather than continue with radio. Is that fair to say?
Oh yes, I had doubts in my mind whether actually does radio work, but I guess like what Jim did mention, it's about going through the numbers. It's getting the quantity and then definitely assuring that, you know, it's the longer game and the longer term, and it's not only about on air but online and on mobile. And because of my background, I could provide that end-to-end holistic solutions. So it was initially the doubts, but now it's kind of cemented the thing that yes, the radio does work, but we want to ensure that we give the end-to-end solutions.
I want to have more people ringing my phone. I want to have more clients actually coming in. I want all these different things. Trust me, Joby, and I will make it so that you can get those things, which sounds great. The problem is, what if you don't deliver? And that's what happened. So it shakes your mindset, it messes with your head, because you start thinking, well, hang on, I promised something and I didn't deliver it. And if you're a people pleaser like Joby is, that's a real issue for you. It's like, I haven't personally let you down. And that's a problem for him. The second thing that happens, which is again with your mindset, it's got to do with, well, maybe there's something wrong with light. Maybe there's something wrong with the ability that we have to deliver these things. I'm doing everything right. I've gone with what Daryl's told me. I've made sure that I do get all the clients through, so I've got the ads right, so that the message itself is conveyed in the best possible way, that they get enough clients get to hear it. I've done the stats, so I know that there's this many people, 9 news simulcasts, blah, 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 and yet the delivery doesn't happen. Maybe there's something actually wrong. Maybe the numbers are wrong. And of course, that's the sort of stuff that your clients start saying to you as well. And it's like, you know, it's not working, mate. Maybe the stats that you've given us aren't right, or whatever else like that. Messes with your mindset. And that's one of the things that you can only really learn. I can't say to you, no, don't worry about that. Nothing to worry about, it's all fine. I can say that, and in fact I did say that, but it didn't actually impact Joby in that way. It still made it so he was still, and I could see it in his mind. He was thinking, you know, I'm a digital specialist. I specialise in digital radios. Maybe you know, you start hearing all these things. You know, maybe radio's a dying medium. Maybe radio's not for me, and all these different stuff. But that is one of the things that it's that little patch. What are you going to do? And for Joby, he got himself through that, which was good, and that's the only thing you can really do, is to get yourself through that, is to block out all the negative, focus on what you can achieve, and work through and do that. I'll bring it back to me, of course, with where I was with that. So with dealing with not more than 20 clients, how do I do it? How can I make sure that they happen? Well, I just chose to believe that it was possible. That's it. It's just a mindset thing. It's just, look, I understand the numbers say I have to have 26. I don't think I can deal with more than 20. So how can I do that? Well, I'll just believe that it's going to happen. And it did. So what have I got currently? 30 odd clients that I'm dealing with now, and that's regular. And there's a few ways. I mean, when we said this last time, Joby was saying, Jim, how can you have 30 odd clients and still not make your budget? Well, it's quite simple. Let me show you how to do that. But that's obviously not my aim. My aim has got to do with the journey that clients have with us. So this is the impact point initially, and this is a successful campaign. And it only takes time. The thing for me, the magic for me had to do with how does radio work? How will it impact my clients? How will it, how does it work? And the space that I came to had to do with a real, and I still have this, a real non-belief in short-term campaigns. I just want to try it out, mate. You got to understand, it's a lot of money. You know, $3 grand, $5 grand, $10 grand, $2 grand, $500. It's a lot of money for me to come up with each time. So how about this? I'll put a client to you. I'll put a campaign with you. We'll run it for a few weeks. If I start getting my phone ringing and they start saying to me that Light FM is working for me, I'll keep going. Great, sounds fantastic. I reject it every single time because I accepted it once and it really bit me on the backside, and it's been a real haunter for me because those clients are out there telling other people radio doesn't work, Light FM doesn't work, you can't trust Jim. And I can't have that. You know, I do everything I can to make sure that I'm doing the best for my clients. I could do virtually anything else, and if I wanted money, I don't want money, I want to build this ministry. That's what I want to do. So the way to do it is to consciously say, look, Man, I accept that for you and for your business, where your stage is right now, $500 a week is a lot of money. I fully understand that. Can I suggest to you that we're not in a position to be able to help you in any real way when it comes to building your brand, but I really want you to be on board with us as a campaign sponsor, because frankly, Light could do with your sponsorship money. And I know enough about your industry and your business to know that if you can ally with us in some way, you already appreciate our brand. Our brand is a good alignment for you. You want to be able to talk to people, the circles you move in, that it is viable for us. Let's work on a way that you can at least be in here somewhere, in this space, as a partner. And for me, it was the business listing. So roughly $500 a year. You can be on a business listing. That's how I end up with 30 odd clients and still not making budgets. Is because I take a minimal amount like that. So it's the business listing. And the business listing for me is a no-brainer. If you've got a client who wants to keep up a conversation with you, and not just a lead status, that you've got somebody who is actually wanting to have a conversation with you, catch up, have coffees and all those different things, because perhaps they're finding something in the way that they're dealing with you and that there's something they like about you. It could be that they like to be in their inner circle of Light, that they like to say, well, I really like what's going on with Lucy and Kel. I really like the business breakfast. I can't come to every one, but I'd like to come along fairly often. That would be great. Or it might just be that they say that they really appreciate the insights that you give. You know what, mate, I'm a small business person. My wife's sick of hearing about the problems I have at work. My accountant, I don't actually want to tell him all the problems because he'll start losing even more hair that he's lost. I don't want to tell my staff that. They need to know that the pay's going to be in their bank account every week. Who else can I talk to? Well, I like talking to you. You know, you're a nice person. I really like doing that. For me, that's a lot of my clients are like that. I've been a small business person. I know what it's like. It's really stressful. Hats off to them. It's a really tough gig. Everybody wants a piece of you, and you've got all the world sitting on your shoulders. $500 per year, is that a possibility for you? Well, yeah, okay, we can do that. I won't ask you to pay for your coffees, but to pay for my time. I won't even charge you for the business breakfast we get you to come along to. I won't, I'll make sure that if there's anything else I can add value, let me write that in there. I want to come back to that. If there's anything else I can do for you, let me know. I don't want to put any limits on it. Anything at all. Let me know what it'll be. I've had people who have phoned me up and say, there's a movie you guys have got coming out. I'd really like to go. Great. If I can get you out there, absolutely. Then once you find that there's what's going on, you know that those people are advocates because they can't help themselves. They go, when I went to that Indivisible movie with Jim last year, it was great fun. Light FM, fantastic. You know, that added value mentality, which doesn't cost them anything, but it really helps us, and I love doing it. You know, for me, it's not one of the things I get paid to do. I just really enjoy seeing people thrive, and that's one of the things that will do it. So that's what I think of. So there needs to be a no-brainer package. I'm running so. So it's a no-brainer package, and the idea with that is that that's the set and forget clients, in a way. You know, so anybody who's at that entry level, $500 a year, added value wherever I can do it, and it's a no-brainer package. They are already advocates. They're already saying good things about us. And several times a year, I just touch in, check in, see how things are going, have a coffee with them, whatever I can. That's the way I do it. So that's it. The other ones have got to do with how far along in this space they are. So they've got the capacity to spend. They've got the desire, plus or minus. Spending a little bit with you, spending a little bit with gold, passing the paper, the internet, Facebook, whatever else. So they're in there. They've got the desire to do something with us, and they also have, for me, the biggest ones have got to do with having some sort of alignment with us. So there needs to be a capacity. They actually want to be involved with us in some way. And for me, I always think about it as three parts that stops anybody from doing anything in life. Three things, and it's their want or desire. Do they actually want to do something? Well, okay, that's the first one. Do they have the ability to do it? And do they have the support? For me, that's what I always think of as the three things that stops anybody or enables anybody to do anything at all. Whether it's climbing the mountain, climbing Everest, or buying a car. Do you want a new car? Well, yeah, I want a new car. Do you have the ability to afford a new car? Well, yeah, I can do it. Do you have the support from people around you that you're going to go ahead and do that? Those type of things, and it's whether it's buying a new car or buying a marketing campaign with us. That's what I sort of think. So their desire for that's what I see that as being. And obviously, coming back to a successful campaign. Like I said before, I don't believe in short-term campaigns. And there's only a few examples when I'm talking to people about why I would advocate going with a short-term campaign. And it's really got nothing at all to do with their capacity to spend. For me, it's got to do with what's your outcome. If it is the Kenny G concert, well, it's only ever going to be a short-term campaign. There's no point in talking about a long-term, mate, I need our audience to become familiar with you, because when they get familiar with you, you become part of their family. They start regularly choosing you. I've got a concert coming out in May. That's it. I don't care if they've got an ongoing relationship with me. September's going to be too late. You might have a really great Royal Melbourne Show campaign. Doesn't make any difference. Simply can't do it. That's the only sort of times that those short-term campaigns will work. The other one has got to do with, I want to kickstart my campaign. Well, what do you want to kickstart my campaign with? I want to have a sale. If anybody who comes in mentions they heard the message on air with Light FM, I'll give them 10% off, 20% off, a free car, whatever it is, right? Okay, that's fine. The problem is you're creating a drug of dependency. The tap gets turned on with your little boost, and as soon as the boost gets closed, the tap gets turned back off again. And then they start saying, well, radio doesn't work. You think, if radio doesn't work, why do people spend so much money with us all the time? Because it does work. So short-term campaigns are only an event a sale, that's pretty much the only time that I would be looking at a short-term campaign. And it's not even if there's a client who says that they want to try it. I've had a client who at one stage offered us $7,000 a month, but only as an initial launch for a short-term campaign. I had a face-to-face conversation with that person because I said, look, I understand it. You don't want to lock yourself into a long campaign, but let me make this really clear to you. In our terms and conditions, you can give us notice with 30 days to exit. And I can't ask somebody to enter into a contract knowing full well that they're not going to comply with it. That's against the law. But I can tell you that we don't want to hold you to a campaign that's not working for you. I believe it'll work. I understand that you don't necessarily know that, and you're the one who's paying the bill. So let's agree to this. We lock in a campaign that I know will work. 12-month campaign will work. Enough of our audience will hear about you and they'll react to that. But I don't want you to sort of think after 4 weeks, well, the phone's not ringing. Well, okay, that's fine. Short-term campaigns don't work. Long-term campaigns absolutely do. So the long-term campaigns work because the audience get to hear them regularly. And the illustration that I often give in the right company is that I say that let's just assume that you're really good at whatever it is that you do, selling tyres or whatever it is. But for you to go up to somebody and start grabbing them and saying, come and choose my tyre company, and grab another person, come and choose my tyre company, that's what you're doing with a short-term campaign. But if they get to know you over time, that's going to be a totally different conversation. The illustration again that I often use is if you go to a dance, a B&S ball, and you're new to the town, you rock up, you open up the doors, you see all the people around there. It's Australia, so the guys are on one side and the girls are on the other side. You go over and you approach the first girl and say, "G'day, my name is Jim. Let's go and have a dance. What's your likelihood of securing that as a dance?" Depends on what time of night, of course, and how many drinks have been going on, but fairly low because they don't know you. That's why. Go to the next person. You can keep on repeating that. All you're doing is just churning it off and get yourself a bit of a reputation as somebody who just keeps on, something wrong with this person. They keep on asking me if I want to have a dance. You go, just chill. That's not going to work. The best way is you keep on turning up to the B&S balls and you get known as a guy or a person or a brand who is pleasant to be around, and they're representative of the same sort of values. That type of person, that type of company, that type of organisation will be the organisation that people will regularly choose. You know what? Because they're safe. They're family. I always know them. Nothing funny is going to go on. It's going to be really, really straightforward. That's the way it works. That's why long-term campaigns work, because they get to know you. So you become friendly. You become familiar. I think. And you become part of their family. And for me, that's why radio works, and that's specifically why Light FM works, because we know that there's no other agenda apart from making sure that people's lives are just that little bit better for the 40 minutes they might be listening. Nothing else. Yes, we do live reads and cold flow or whatever else is going on. We do that, but that's not really. You know that. You know it's a live read. Lucy and Kel start, cold flow or whatever else is going on. They do those types of things. And people get it. They know it's a live read. I get it. I get what's going on. But it's not what happened on commercial radio several years ago when there was an under-the-table deal going on, where the announcer was getting paid in merchandise and the audience wasn't aware that there was a deal. So it came across that there was this brand, this person, this announcer that everybody was trusted or had their trust in, and who just kept on, of his own volition, recommending this thing again and again. And then took a call from somebody who, was a talkback show, so we would take calls. Took a call from that person, and that person seemed to be quite good. And, it's good to hear from you. Hey, aren't you guys the blah, 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 blah? And it turned into effectively an advertisement. Now totally against the law, back then called cash for comments, and it's fraudulent and wrong. And as Christians, I think that's something that even if it wasn't against the law, it stirs up something so unpleasant in you that you react to it. And it's, I've heard of it before with people saying, obviously churches want more people in them, youth groups would want more people in them. Invite your friend along. Don't tell them what's going on, just invite them along. Well, I can't do that. It's a church or it's a youth group. If there's something going on there, I don't want you to come under false pretenses. I don't want you to just come along because of that. And for me, I think that's one of the big things about why our brand works so long, because we hold it to such high esteem. And we've mentioned this before at our business breakfasts, that if we actually reject people who don't fit with our brand. We do it regularly. And that's something that we really hold as being in high esteem. So we've got to be really careful about that type of thing. But having said that, I always take people at their word. If they're in business, and as I said before, small business is really a strong heart for me, that I want to see them thrive, because it's a hard gig. But I don't want to have anybody on here who's not doing the right thing. So again, I think mindset is the key. You need to make sure that in your mind you absolutely believe in what we're selling. I mean, that's been a mainstay for salespeople for a really long time. If you don't believe in it, you're not going to be able to effectively sell it. You've got to believe that radio works, and I do believe radio works. Our success stories, our testimonies on this type of thing are ongoing. And also the long-term strategies are the ones that work best. And when I talk to people about long-term strategies, whether it's somebody who wants to spend $5 grand, $7 grand, whatever it is, for a 1 week campaign or 1 month campaign, and then see what happens, I like to dig down into why. Do you only have $7 grand? Is that all you can spend? Or what else is going on? Because I'd frankly really like to have a $7,000 annual campaign. If that's all you can spend $7 grand with me. We'll see what we can do over a 12-month campaign. Because I know that $7,000 will reach a lot more people over 12 months, because they'll hear it more regularly, not including filler, but they'll actually hear you and become familiar with you the more that they can hear you and they listen longer, as opposed to a short burst of five messages a day, 24 messages a day. It just doesn't have the same impact. It doesn't have the same effect. So that's how it works for me. And I guess the only other thing I'd really like to talk to you about with retention is the big N word. And for me, I think it's got to do with making sure that you really know what it is that you're selling, and if it's not going to work, don't put it to the client. I just wouldn't do it, and I don't do it. If I honestly don't believe it's going to work for them, I'd rather just go, look, keep your money. It's just not going to work. Let's find some other way. If that's all you can spend, then we'll find a gateway in there. But if they still want to, then I'd just reject it. Appreciate you got $5 grand, but if you don't want to spend it in the way that we're recommending to you, I agree with you that it's not going to work, because I don't want to have this conversation in 7-8 weeks and you saying, well, I tried the deal and it didn't work, because I've been there before and it feels horrible. And you think, well, I tried, I didn't recommend it. You're the one who said that. But they don't remember that. They only remember the conversation initially, and they were dubious about whether it was going to work or not, and you said it was. Yeah, you said something about over time, but yeah, people will say things. That's the stuff that goes on in their head just to justify their perspective. So no is a viable response. So hopefully that helps, and I think probably the last thing I'd like to leave you with is a spiritual mind shift for me. And I know it's got to do with mindset, like that was my first perspective. But when I cold call, when I network, when I go to events and I constantly see people, I pray for the Lord's leading in what's going on. And you might go to somebody and go, actually, that's the guy who blah, 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 or that's the new CEO. I know that she'd be really on brand. I'm going to make a beeline for her. And, you know, casually, respectfully talk and all those different things. But if something just doesn't gel, go with that. Trust it, you know, because I had times before I thought, you love our brand, your products are really right in line with what we do, and our audience will respond to them. Why is this not working? Everything here is working. Why won't you spend? And sometimes just trust that the Lord's leading, that it's for a reason. You know, that they're not spending for a reason. And stop pushing it. Move on to the next. Next. Because your numbers are really your key with retention. It's the number of clients, obviously, that you have, but it's also the number of calls that you make. And what I like to think of is the shots at goal. When you think about things from a basketball perspective, there's two ways that you can make shots. One is with the amount of times that you have a shot at that goal, and the other one is the amount of goals that you actually achieve. And we've talked about it already in lag indicators and lead indicators. Having the shots at goal are all made up of all of your lead indicators. The goals themselves, the money coming in the bank for us, is a lag indicator. And when you can see that, you know, you could be making a budget, you can be absolutely smashing it and going, yeah, you've made heaps of money, but you will instinctively know if there's some other issue going on here that's stopping you from achieving. Because your phone doesn't work, or the internet stopped, or whatever else is going on. Well, everybody might be wanting to pat you on the back and shake your hand and say, oh, you've made your third budget in a row, and you're there going, well, yeah, but I'm actually worried about the next three. The next quarter is really what I've got in mind. Well, retention's going to be your key. If you have enough clients in there, they're spending enough time, that's going to be there. And stop wasting time with clients who aren't.